And that is what informed the MOU. It was not a secret. We appointed lawyers who spent time to prepare the MOU. And we changed it eventually. We agreed to sign that MOU. And that is when we went out of the office of the president and shook hands with Uhuru Kenyatta. That is the second handshake. But I said, we don't have a stake in government. ODM did not appoint a single minister in that government. Neither did we appoint even a permanent secretary or even head of any parastatal. We did not. That government remained exactly that whatever it was, whether it's a coalition, but it was between Uhuru's side and Ruto's side, right throughout. So this idea that handshake is what caused problems with that government is hogwash. We did not participate in that government. All ODM members here know that we did not participate in that government at all. We did not appoint anybody. People who were appointed there were all there. But because they are in the government, they want to take credit for all the good things that that government did and blame everything that went wrong in that government on Uhuru Kenyatta. That is where we are today. Shame on them. So we ourselves, nobody should come and say that we all the time force people into trouble so that we need handshake. Justice Kriegler, who was appointed to come and lead a team to verify what happened in this country and how the elections were held. When he came to see me in my office, he told me, Mr. Odinga, I don't see my role here as trying to tell Kenyans who won that election.
Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends, enemies, and comrades, you've heard Mr. Raila Odinga speak. There's a lot to unpack here. But I want to say this real quick. I'll make this video really short. He's referring to two incidences here. When he mentions Justice Kriegler, he's referring to 2008, 2007, after Kibaki. You know, we know what happened in 2007 when the country was heading towards civil war, basically, post-election violence. And Kriegler and some other folks came in to intervene so that the PNU side will have talks with the ODM side. Now, when he's talking about the MOU and the handshake, he's referring to 2018, 2017. But let's walk through this, what he's saying, because I think Mr. Raila Odinga is being a little bit cheeky. He's being disingenuous here with the Kenyan people. But let's give him a benefit of doubt, because we have to be fair. Let's walk through this, Mr. Raila. It is 2017. The elections are held and announced by Chebukati, and you went to court. Mr. Maraga is presiding over your case, him and the rest of the Supreme Court justices. They look at the evidence and they determine that this election was not transparent, and basically there was no election because there's so many overwhelming evidence that shows that it was rigged. So he nullified the Uhuru's win, and he actually writes down his recommendation, what needs to be done before the election is held again, which includes reconstituting the whole IEBC, which means Mr. Chebukati and his team had to leave, or at least the people who presided over the previous election, as far as the IEBC is concerned, should have been removed, and so forth, so forth. But this is not done, okay? The IEBC proceeds and announces that the election will be held on October 26, 2007, on Uhuru's birthday. So, Raila, if we remember, you boycotted the elections. You did not participate in that election. Rightfully so, because the recommendations by the Supreme Court in order, the prerequisites that were suggested, the things that should have been done before the election was to be redone, were not met. So you boycotted, rightfully so. But Uhuru went ahead and ran against himself and declared himself the president. Well, as we all remember, majority of Kenyans rejected this victory and went to the streets and protested and decided they were going to swear in Raila Odinga as the people's president at Uhuru Park, which happened. Thousands upon thousands converged in Nairobi Uhuru Park. From Nairobi, Mombasa, Kisumu, Nakuru, Isiolo, name it. They came down to see Raila Odinga get sworn in. And he did get, they swore Raila in as the people's president. Right? All right. Raila rightfully won these elections in 2007. There was no doubt about it. And that's why Kenya did what they did. Kenyans did what they did. The will of the people was with Raila Odinga. So, according to Miguna, the next step was going to be marching towards the White House to protest and remove Mr. Kenyatta out of office. But Raila, after he got sworn in, got into his Range Rover, bulletproof Range Rover, and fled the scene. But anyway, regardless, the people wanted you to be the president of the Republic of Kenya. That's why you were sworn in by the people. The people were exercising their powers directly by doing that. But what happened after that? Raila Odinga went ahead secretly, without consulting his core principles of NASA, Mr. Mudavadi, Mr. Wetangula, Mr. Kalonzo. He never informed them of this. His supporters, Miguna, okay? Not even his supporters who voted for him. Not even the youth that traveled using their own money to go to Nairobi just to witness him getting sworn in as the people's president. Raila never went and consulted with them. Never asked them, hey, do you think it's a good idea to go meet up with Mr. Kenyatta? No. As we later found out, Raila grabbed his daughter, Winnie Odinga, and went ahead and met Mr. Paul Mwangi, if I'm not wrong, who's a lawyer, along with Mr. Uhuru Kenyatta, and the four sat down, had a secret meeting, and I guess that's when they drafted the MOU that he's talking about in that video. And a few days later, before that, before they announced the handshake publicly, there were a series of events. The people who were closest to Raila Odinga started getting arrested, maimed, jailed, exiled forcefully, in the case of Miguna. His closest allies in NASA were being arrested. Okay? His supporters were already getting gunned down, killed, jailed, tortured. Then the now infamous handshake took place. He went and shook hands with Uhuru Kenyatta and they started calling each other brother, brother. Right? Okay? And as soon as he did that, Raila Odinga, we remember it very clearly like it was yesterday. Mr. Kenyatta sidelined, ridiculed, humiliated his deputy president at the time, Mr. William Ruto. It was as if he was no longer the deputy president. He propped up Matiang'i to handle most of the responsibilities that are supposed to be the deputy president's responsibility. Okay? You even call him Tanga Tanga. Uyo kijana Ruto. You don't refer to your deputy president as kijana. That's number one. But anyway, what I'm simply trying to say is this. Don't try to rewrite history, Raila. We remember what happened. Okay? In fact, you once went to Kisumu and told the Kisumu people, hey, I will talk to Kenyatta, Uhuru Kenyatta. Unajua sasa we are playing a high level of football, as you like likened it. Saying that sisi tunacheza huko, ya juu, who is Ruto. And you went and told the people of Kisumu that you'll talk to Mr. Kenyatta to bring back Miguna. Okay? You say that Uhuru Kenyatta is the only person that you are going to talk to. And may I remind you that you stopped talking about electoral justice, extrajudicial killings by the police. You stopped talking about corruption once after the handshake. So to most Kenyans, you were part of the government. And it was so evident that Ruto had absolutely no power, no say in that government, in Uhuru Kenyatta's second-term government, illegitimate presidency in this, okay? It was apparent for people to see. So for you to come here today to tell us that I had no part in that government, I had no say, you bragged about it back then. So for you to try to distance yourself and say none of the ODM had no position in the parastatals, in the government, had no say, you're not being honest with us, Mr. Raila. I don't think you're being honest with us. But this shows something. Then you try to mix it up by telling us about Kriegler. You want the same arrangement that you had, talks that you had during the 2008 talks. We're in a different times. This is a different situation. What was the result of that Kriegler meeting and Kofi Annan? We had what? Government of National Unity, where you became a prime minister and some of your folks had ministerial positions. Ruto already said, no, we're not going to have that. So it's like you're telling us you don't want a handshake, but you want to bring BBI back through the backdoor channel. And Kenyans already voted to say we don't want BBI. But anyway, I want to make this video short by concluding and saying this. Raila Odinga, this is a clear sign that William Ruto has emerged victorious in this situation. This is not about who wins and who loses. But as far as negotiations, as far as this little power struggle that you're trying to create between you and William Ruto, he seems to have your number, so to speak. He has outfoxed you. It's clear as day. You seem desperate. And to try to convince us that you did not have any stake in Uhuru's second-term government is like telling us the sun does not exist. You're only fooling yourself. But anyway, I wanted to make this video short. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe, share, like, and tell me what you think in the comment section. This is Kenya Revolutionary, aka Fabrizio Bromano. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace and blessings.